I'm so sick and tired of applying to jobs, going through 3, 4 interviews just for them to tell me a month later that I didn't get the fucking job. If you're a recruiter, you need to start like telling people that they didn't get the job after the first interview at this point. Like, I'm so sick of applying. I've been applying and I've gone on, for example, I went on an interview with this company 4 times. It took them a month to tell me that I was not getting the job. I actually had to reach out to them just to see if the position was still open. This is ridiculous. Like, there was another job I did 4 interviews for. I filled out my references and everything just for them to tell me that they went with the internal candidate. Like, come on. I'm so tired of this job shit. It's getting on my nerves. Like, I'm sick of it.
In today's business and financial news, let's discuss working in retail.
Is anyone just having trouble even finding a retail job right now? Like, I've tried to do job applications in person and they're not even working out. I'm even told that they're not hiring or to apply online. And as you can imagine, online applications are even more competitive. And the icing on the cake is I'm being told I'm overqualified every single time.
Are you tired of the job search? Would you consider a job in retail? Is working in retail beneath you? Are you overqualified for a retail job? Are we asking too many questions? Just one more question. If you could, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're just a lone channel inching our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we're almost there. So please subscribe because we need you.
Exactly 1 year ago today, I was laid off from my job after only 3 months. I left my family for this job. I moved for this job only to be laid off 3 months. And I can't believe it has already been a year. But today, exactly 1 year later, I had an interview and I have another interview coming up. And even though the job market is terrible, I've still been applying for jobs. I've still been looking and I am just hopeful. I am in this waiting period and I just think that everything's gonna work out, that God has a plan for me. And during this time I've been working in retail. Well, I just found out that my retail job is closing. One of them, the store is closing. So even though everything's happening, I'm still trusting in God and I'm trusting in the process that everything's going to be okay. Don't give up, okay? Don't give up.
You know what needs to stop is calling any sort of customer service or retail job not real jobs. And we need to stop telling people to go out and get a real job. What do you mean working in retail or working at the McDonald's is not a real job? It pays real money, so it's a real job. It pays my real bills. I'm able to buy real life items with that money that I make at that job, so it's a real job. Stop shaming people for having a job that you don't seem worthy. If we did not have retail jobs, customer service jobs, food service jobs, you would not have somebody serving you your Taco Bell at the drive-thru. You wouldn't be able to go get your McDonald's at 10 o'clock at night when you're starving. You wouldn't be able to go to Chick-fil-A and get your whole family a little meal. Like, you wouldn't have any of that. You wouldn't have grocery stores stocked with all of your food that you need to buy so you can cook dinner for your family. You wouldn't have stores to go buy your clothes at. You'd be forced to buy every single thing online, which we all know sucks. Like, you wouldn't have anywhere to shop for the stuff that you need on a day-to-day basis if we didn't have any sort of customer service or retail jobs. So stop telling people that their jobs are not real jobs and that they need to go get a real job.
This subreddit is entitled, "How do I apply for a short-term retail job with an overqualified background?" I spent the last year or so without a paycheck while attempting to get a home business off the ground. While I started with no credit card debt and a sizable cash reserve, I am about out of money and am in need of short-term work to cover expenses. Oh, to the OP. We may or may not be able to definitely agree and sympathize with this situation. Sometimes you start off a business with the best of intentions and a lot of cash reserve to get you started. And then eventually you get to a point where you need some additional income because the sales are not quite where you wanted them to be, and you have some debt associated with your business. Happens to the best of us. Let's continue with the post. Due to some recent soul searching and my experiences with my recent business endeavor and last paid job, I've realized I might not have the heart to continue with my past career. Even if I did, I'm currently focusing on a side project, mostly writing, to keep me partly busy while I decide which direction I want to take in the future. Because of this, I'm considering taking a simple retail job to help cover bills until I either get a career-oriented job or switch gears and start over with a new career. Besides my office work, I've done factory work and a brief stint in food services. Due to my living circumstances, neither of those are options for me. Hence retail. I've never worked retail before, so I'm concerned that my mannerisms or background might scare off hiring managers who might think I'm overqualified, that I might not be loyal enough to do the work, etc. I'm concerned about how to proceed. I consider myself to be an honest person to a fault, and I don't want to resort to hiding or deceit in the application and interview process.
And I can't get a job at 50.
Yeah, they want us to be Walmart greeters. I've given up trying to find a job now in my 50s because I've been told crap like I'm overqualified. I've been told we're going to go another way. One time I decided they were doing something that was really super simple and they wanted to hire somebody to do the thing. And I'm like, well, all you have to do is X and Y. And the IT guy on the call was like, oh, really? I'm like, yep. And that's why I screwed myself and anybody else out of that job. Companies, they want to pay the lowest price possible. And when you're in your 50s, you want a higher price. You've worked yourself up to be what you are. And they don't want to pay that. And now with AI, they really don't want to pay it. They would rather hire somebody who knows very little, throw some AI at them, and then they can be mediocre at it. And in fact, mediocre, that's all they really want anyway. They don't need to be better. So, yeah, I'm not going to be a freaking Walmart greeter. Anyway, so that's why I decided to write my own software, get some apps in the App Store, and do that kind of stuff. And it's hard. And so I'm pulling the self-employment stuff instead of dealing with the stupid companies because screw them. So in my head, I work for Apple. That's my job. I don't officially work for Apple, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, all right, what I need to do is get my apps to work in the Apple ecosystem as best as possible and to be integrated as best as possible so that I can sell them and then Apple will maybe look at them and I'll get rewarded and somehow make $1 million. That's the goal. It's not going to happen, but that's the goal.
And this is what the people responded. Keep in mind that leaving stuff out of your resume isn't necessarily lying. Lots of things on your resume are really impressive, but not related to retail at all. Just mention things that are relevant to retail, especially if you've worked with other people or the public. But leave out all the technical details if you don't want to scare people off by being overqualified. People give him some other ideas on how to clean up his resume a little bit. Someone says, be prepared to work 2 simple retail jobs to cover your bills. They don't pay much and don't like to pay overtime. And this is a post or response from someone who says that they're a manager of a retail store. I am a manager of a retail store and I would definitely hire someone who is overqualified as long as they show a great deal of interest in working for my company. I think you should make your food service experience stand out on your resume, but you should still keep just about everything else. When I look at resumes, I look for people who are intelligent and have other skills to offer the company. Looking at your resume, I would think he has great customer service. Plus, if something goes wrong with our computers, he can fix them. And those are the responses here concerning someone who posted on Reddit stating that he wants a retail job, a short-term retail job, but he's afraid that he's overqualified.
It is so humiliating having a degree and then having to go and make a retail resume and ultimately work retail again or end up working another job that you said you'd never do again. Yeah, post-grad in 20s is really fun, but I'm working hard.
It's known to be difficult to get a job at Costco because people keep their jobs at Costco. That's called turnover. Most retailers, most food service have very high turnover, as high as 50-60%. In locations like that, you could walk into that retailer, apply for a job, and get a call back the same day or even hired on the spot. Basically, they're just looking for a pulse and remotely related skill set. And so Costco is very selective with who they hire because we need to be able to provide the very best for our members. To answer your question, why do people keep their jobs at Costco? The benefits are excellent. I have far better healthcare benefits than I did as a teacher. I pay very, very little to see a doctor. Some of my co-pays are $0. I had a major surgery last year and my out-of-pocket was like $400 total. It's a company where you can work at the same company for a very long time, if not your whole career, and make transitions within the company to different departments and different opportunities. It's very common to, when somebody retires, see like their list of accomplishments, and they've worked in a lot of different departments at the company. So you're not just stuck in one area. And that's true whether you're working in the warehouse or in an office setting. I also think people keep their jobs at Costco because it's enjoyable. I'm surrounded by people who are helpful, kind, considerate. They're there to do a good job. And last but possibly most important, the reason people keep their jobs at Costco is because we're compensated fairly and we are paid well. So there are regular pay increases. You know when your raises are going to come. It's scheduled based on how many hours you work. And in addition to that, the opportunities for promotions are pretty extensive.
At TJ Maxx a few weeks ago, and they denied my application.
So first, I want to apologize that you didn't get the job. That sucks. It's a bummer. Two, I don't believe that the reason they didn't hire you is because of your experience. I believe they didn't hire you because of your tattoos. However, saying that just looks bad. So they didn't. As far as your other question with kids getting jobs at retail stores without experience, it can still happen, and it does happen. However, there are times when people need experienced workers because they maybe have too many new people. Experienced is better than people with no experience because makes training a lot cheaper. But yeah, I think you weren't hired because of your tattoos. I'm sorry.
Y'all always say, oh, it's so hard to find a job and the job market is low, all that. But y'all who looking for a job, this is the easiest way to me to get a job. Of course, apply online. Go online and make sure you apply. Call the job. Call them. You cannot expect them to call you because they ain't going to call you. You're going to be waiting forever. Call them. Once you call them, say, hi, my name is such and such, and I was wondering if I could speak to the hiring manager. Boom. 9 times out of 10, sometimes the hiring manager is always there. So just say if they say yes, the hiring manager is there. When the hiring manager get on the phone, y'all, say like, hi, my name is such and such, and I was wondering if I can come in for an interview. I applied online. You can tell them that if you want to. That's an automatic. You telling them I want to interview and I'm ready to start working. They're going to set you up right then and there for an interview, y'all. When you go in for the interview, make sure you're dressing professional, of course, and say all the right things. I'll be nervous during my interviews, but say all the right things so you can get hired. Another thing to get a job quick is how I do it. I go to hiring events. I look up online hiring events near me, security hiring events near me, airport hiring events near me. Like literally, and it just be coming up, and I just go. And when you go, don't hiring events, 9 times out of 10, you got the job. Like you got the job because they be hiring events because they're hiring. So they looking for people. So it's automatically hire on the spot. Most of the time, hiring events be hire on the spot. So definitely, that's how you get a job.
I just went into the mall to check on an application and accidentally got a job. So you're looking at J. Crew's newest crew member. Let's hear it. It was pretty simple. I applied online. I have been applying to retail stores just because like I have 0 retail experience, and they literally asked me, do you have retail experience? And I was like, no, but I have a lot of experience dealing with customers. And I feel like if you give that answer and you're like me, you have a lot of like food service industry background. I also have like a background with like a startup or like small project stuff, but I don't know, just not that you need that to fucking work at J. Crew, but I love the application process of online application, go show face, smile, say hi, say you should hire me, show them why, and then prove that you're beyond competent. I start on Monday.
Do you have experience in retail? Would you consider getting a retail job even though you may be currently overqualified? In today's market, many people should consider themselves just fortunate to have a job because it really is an employer-led job market. and it's pretty tough out there. So if you're looking for a job, stay encouraged and keep going. Remember that every no gets you closer to your yes. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. See you soon.